I've had continuous membership on RuneScape for the past 15 years, which is crazy because that is over half of my life that I've been paying to play this game. Most of the time, I also was paying for 2 to 3 accounts at the same time. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what it was like to buy RuneScape membership for the first time. I'm also really curious what it was like for you guys, if you can even remember, because it might be so long ago. I'd love to hear a bunch of stories down in the comments below. Now, this is on the old school RuneScape wiki for the extra features of being a member. So over 3 times as much of an explorable map, which is pretty crazy, 8 additional skills, higher capabilities in previous skills, many more quests, better equipment such as dragon, barrows, and crystal, use of several more transportation systems, more mini games, more music and sound effects, new features and updates almost every week, and 400 extra bank slots. Now, this goes on forever, talking about all of the benefits of being a member. Now, I didn't know all of these extra benefits, obviously being a kid. I just wanted to train the new skills and explore the new areas that were locked. Now, one of the biggest things for me was I wanted to pickpocket the men that were in Lumbridge. I don't know what it was. It was just like I would always try to do it, and it would say that you needed to be on a member's world in order to do this. And also, like, trying to go into different areas, and I wasn't able to access them, like the classic going to Taverley. You know, you couldn't go through the gates. You wanted to see what was behind there. And this was really before I ever explored YouTube or Googling things about RuneScape, right? So it was all kind of like a mysterious thing, and I just wanted to know what it was all about. So basically back then, you could actually go to a store like a Walmart or something like that and buy the little membership cards. They were pretty much in every store back then. It's very rare to see them now. I'm not even sure if they still exist. Everyone just buys their membership online now with a credit card. But back in the day, right, I used to buy these little cards, and I had to like beg my dad to get me one of these little cards because I didn't have money. I was 9 years old at the time, and I just wanted to explore this game that I've already been playing for a while, and I wanted to explore the members version of it. So my dad went ahead and bought me a card. I believe they sold them like $10 cards, and then there was a $25 card. There might have been a $50, I'm not even quite sure, but I think I got the first like $10 card, loaded it up, and I was now a RuneScape member. It was also like one of those cards where you had to like scratch the back and it revealed like a code. You typed it in. It was very easy to activate. So of course the first thing I did was start pickpocketing a bunch of men and women in Lumbridge, and I thought it was so cool because back then, right, like I was really inexperienced with the game, so I thought like having 10 to 20,000 GP was a lot, and I could just continuously pickpocket these men if I had food in my inventory, and I'd get money, and I thought that was so cool. But you know, it's not like you made a lot at all. I wanted to explore a lot of the new areas of the game as well, but I was that kid that hated doing quests, so I didn't explore a lot of the areas until much later on. The next skill that I did train, however, was fletching, and I liked fletching, right, because it was basically another cooking copy and paste, and it was one of those skills that a lot of people got to 99 back in the day. I believe fletching was my second 99. Now, when I first got my membership, I went over to one of my friend's house that was not like a crazy RuneScape player, but he was more experienced than I was for sure. And I went down to his house, and I logged into my account, and he said, "I'm going to show you one of the new member skills today. Pick whichever one you want." And he explained them all to me about how like agility was running laps, kind of sounded a little boring to me. He said construction, you get to build your own house. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And he's like, okay, so today we're going to get you to level up some construction. And I thought it was such a cool process, right? Because he kind of showed me how to do it like an Ironman method. Instead of just walking up to the Grand Exchange and, you know, buying planks and buying this and buying that, he showed me how to actually get the planks. And he showed me his little secret money-making method where he would chop oak trees in the Grand Exchange. There was that little section where you could chop the oak trees, and then he would turn them into planks, get a bunch of them and turn them into planks and sell them to the Grand Exchange. And he said you don't even have to turn them into planks because the oak logs were so expensive because people use them for construction. So this is how he secretly made all of his money. So he explained that to me, and I thought that was really cool. And I ended up training a lot of wood cutting and getting a lot of money that way in the early days. But anyways, we go and buy the POH, and he shows me how to turn all the planks into logs, buying nails, buying a bunch of bolts of cloths and stuff like that, and started to build the house. Now, I thought it was so cool that I had my own house in the game, which is really funny because player-owned houses, like before old school, really essentially did nothing. It was just there to train construction, but I thought it was so cool that I could build a house, have some chairs, have my friend come in the house with me and stuff like that, and I started to get like really artsy with it. He was trying to like show me how to actually train construction, right? He was like, okay, you got to remove the chair, build another one. And I'm like, so how do I make a carpet? How do I make the curtains? How do I make a fireplace? That's what I was curious about. Now, as for the other members' skills, Herblore, I didn't really train too much. Hunter, I had a lot of fun with as well. I remember vividly going to the beach way down and catching those little red birds for hours and hours and hours, and I just thought it was so cool. I don't know what it was. It's not like you made money or anything, but I thought it was very cool that I could do that. I also really liked summoning back in the day. Summoning was basically a skill where you got to summon creatures. That was it's not in old school, obviously. And then there was also dungeoneering, which was one of my favorite skills ever. Basically what dungeoneering was is it was like how Corrupted Gauntlet is now. Basically you go through a dungeon, do a bunch of puzzles, and fight a boss at the end, and you go up through the floors, and that's how you level the skill. The skill also had like a shop where you earn tokens from training the skill, and you could buy these cool rewards, and I really wanted the Chaotic Rapier, and I spent hours and hours and hours going for it. I really liked the dungeoneering experience of being a member because everyone kind of came together. They were like, this is kind of where I started to learn about like people being efficient, right? It was more like we gotta get this floor done as quickly as possible so we can move on to the next one and gain more experience. And you know, it kind of almost took the fun out of it, but I learned how to be really efficient with the game, and it was really cool. I made a lot of friends dungeoneering back in the day when I first got membership. Funny enough, the next two skills we're going to talk about is farming and Slayer. Now, when I first got membership, I didn't really touch both of the skills. So farming, basically, I thought was like a Farmville simulator, but I was really confused about all of the patches, the locations, different types of seeds, and having to make all of the plants and whatever. It was a bit confusing to me, and it was all over the game, right? And I didn't know the whole game back then, so I really didn't train farming a lot when I first got my membership. I just would walk up to the patch and rake it and get a little bit of XP here and there. And the other skill, Slayer, is another skill that I was kind of like a stupid kid, and I thought, what's the point in Slayer, because I could just go kill these creatures anyway, so why do I need to be on task? But I didn't realize all the benefits to Slayer and how much fun it would actually be, how much profit you would make, and I didn't even realize that you would unlock new creatures by training Slayer. But that's just kind of how RuneScape was when I was 9 years old, and you know, nobody really cared as much about being efficient. It was more about exploration and having fun. And of course the game is still fun, and that's why I continue to buy membership and play this game 15 years later. But what really kept me playing back then and having fun with the game and really getting deep into the game was friends and the community around the game. Back in 2009, every person at my school pretty much played the game. Like all different genres of people like came together pretty much and enjoyed the game together and would talk about their accounts and what they were doing and this and that. And we had a variety of different players. We had people that were merchants, people that were PKers, people like that were skillers like me, and even people who were just into Slayer and PVM, whatever PVM was back then. There was just a variety of players, and we all kind of came together and shared the same interest, which I thought was so cool. And that's honestly how I made a lot of friends back in the day, were people I'd never even talked to before, and then all of a sudden we have this common interest in RuneScape, and we might not even like the same activities in the game, but just because it was RuneScape, you know, we had so much to talk about all the time. I have a ton of funny memories and stories that I can tell in other videos if you guys are interested in my middle school and high school years of all of the friends and everything that happened. It kind of gets a little wild. We would play RuneScape so much, and pretty much only RuneScape all of the time, even at school a lot of the time. If we had mobile like we do today, I wouldn't have passed school at all. It's kind of crazy to think about that people have access to old school RuneScape mobile now. If we had that back in the day, man, I can't even imagine. We were using this app where you could like be on your desktop and kind of like zoom in a lot and sort of play the game. I think it was called Remote Desktop, and then other kids would just have laptops and be playing it in the school. It was crazy. During the summer actually kind of sucked, right? You know, you'd have like 2 full months off of school, and it was like, I'm gonna get this 99 this summer, I'm gonna play RuneScape 10 hours a day. And for the most part, I did that a lot when I was a kid. I played a lot of RuneScape during the summer. But the thing is, right, a lot of my friends would, you know, play for the first couple of weeks, and then they would, you know, either be playing other games or going on summer vacation or doing whatever they're doing, and they would like lose interest in the game. And then the second school started back up, everyone was deep into RuneScape again. It was really weird, right? And I kind of over the summer started playing it less and less and less, right? Because the fun part about it was everyone was talking about it all the time, the community and friends you made. And when you were kind of just all by yourself, it wasn't the same anymore, you know? One of my favorite memories from, I guess, middle school, at the very end of it, I think it was the grade 8 year, the very last day of school, they said, do whatever you want. And most kids would just watch movies or whatever in the classroom. But a bunch of my friends and I went down to the computer lab, logged into RuneScape, and everyone was like, let's do some PKing today. Now, I was not good at PKing at all, but I knew about it. I watched some videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and I decided I'd go one iteming. Basically, what one iteming is you would just bring one item into the wilderness and kind of just rag someone. I'd walk up to someone, inspect them. If I didn't kill them, teleport out and restart. And I did this for hours and hours and hours. I think I was using the dragon dagger spec, and I smited a guy for dragon claws. I don't remember the price of them back then, but they were very expensive, and it was just the most insane thing, right? This guy who never PKs smites someone for dragon claws. I think I used the money for the dragon claws and bought like 99 cooking or 99 fletching. It was weird back then. I was a skiller, not a killer, and I kind of still am today. I'm more into PVM now, but yeah, I really do like skilling a lot. Well, now pretty much all of my friends have left the game, moved on to real life things, or moved on to other games to experience, right? But the one thing that they always do is when I see them in real life, they talk about RuneScape. It's kind of one of those games that you will really never forget, and even still play it from time to time. Some of them log on, make an Ironman account, and they don't stay for too long, but it's really cool to see them back and kind of like relive all the memories and experience that they once had. And that's a really cool thing that we have old school RuneScape, and you can kind of do that, right? Go back in time and play the game you used to know, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, this was my first time buying membership, the experience that I've had with it, and why I continue to kind of pay for membership now, right? You know, I'm addicted to the game. I love it. It's literally part of my life now. And I don't know if like old school RuneScape or RuneScape in general came out today, if it would be the same kind of experience, right? You kind of had to play it back in the day to really get the full meaning and experience of it, right? You're not going to come into this game today and have the exact same memories that we had back in 2009, right? There's so many different types of games on the market, so many things that people are using their time for now. But back then, RuneScape was at the top, man. It was like everyone played it. You know, like you wouldn't go to a school now where everyone plays RuneScape. That would just be very, very rare. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya later.